The Peace Dependency podcast is brought to you by TotalRadNES. Shop your Goofyfoot controller, TWO merch, and CTWC approved hardware on TotalRadNES.com. Welcome to the Peace Dependency podcast. I'm your host, Frank, also known as Sir Mazer. As you heard, we have a brand new theme song. This song is made by fellow community member and a good friend of both me and the show, It's Pumpy Heart. Also, this is the season premiere of PDP. Welcome all to season 2. Some minor things have changed, but the concept stays the same. And boy, we have two beautiful persons to kick off episode 1 of this brand new season. They are sitting literally on a couch today, all the way live from the Bone Zone. It's Mr. TotalRadNES himself, Steve DeLuca, and the president of the Buuuucoooo fan club. He's also the runner-up of CTWC 2015. It's Quaid, or Hauser, or Sizzix, or nah. Today is just Sean Ritchie. This is supposed to be a classic Tetris podcast, and sure, we did talk a lot of classic Tetris. But don't be surprised if these two gentlemen take the show in a whole different direction. We talked about the TWO, the Hungover strats, and a lot more. This is our conversation. Steve and Quaid, welcome to the Peace Dependency podcast, and thank you both for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having us.
We're stoked.
First question is always the same question for everyone who's new on the podcast, and that is, how did you get into NES Tetris?
Well, let me just derail this podcast right away, and let me ask you a question first. How did you first get into podcasting? Why did you decide to do a Tetris podcast, man? Because I freaking love you.
That's a great
question,
question,
I want to know all about the man that stepped up. And then we'll go into us. This is the first episode of the second season. It's going off.
It's that's right.
Go ahead. Yeah, let us know.
I always wanted to make a podcast about something, and I used to make a podcast about NASCAR, and it was in Dutch.
Awesome.
But
Is NASCAR big out there?
it's not big, but they send all cup races, all 36 cup races live on air.
Wow.
But it's
Okay.
behind it's behind a paywall, but it's the same company that also broadcasts Formula One. So you get a package deal: IndyCar, NASCAR, Formula One, all for a monthly
I
fee.
didn't even know that because NASCAR is so American that I just didn't think that anybody outside of
Right.
America would even know what it is.
Right.
It is, but it's like we see basketball here, we see baseball here, we see American football here, we see ice hockey here. So pretty much all major leagues in the Big Four and the big motorsport leagues are broadcasted here.
Nice, cool.
So you already had it in your blood.
Yeah, but I did that for 2 months. It was a weekly podcast, but I did it by myself. And then COVID hit, NASCAR stopped racing, and they went to iRacing, but I didn't care about that. So then Game Scout started to uploading a video about how could you get into NES Tetris. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to buy a NES console, I'm going to buy the Tetris cartridge, and I'm going to join the community. But then I still had the dream, like, I want to make another podcast. So then I was at work, I was on my lunch break, and then it hit me, I'm going to make a podcast about Tetris, and I want to interview people from the community. and I know that nobody knows me because I just joined the community, but I'm going to make it work. So then I said to Chris Forrest, would you like to come on the show? He said yes, and since July 2020, there is a monthly podcast.
Nice.
So that is how I got into podcasting.
Dude, sick.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I like any podcast that starts with, well, it started as a NASCAR podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to the question that you asked us, how do we get into NES Tetris? I knew it's similar. My story would be similar to yours, but kind of backwards.
It started with a NASCAR race.
No,
it started with Tetris, and it's going to end with NASCAR.
No,
that's how Steve.
I mean, in the sense where, like, you know, you and I feel like are, you know, a big part of this community at this point. But
yeah,
but you and I mean, we're not dropping these insane scores to make a difference in that world. You know,
we're representing the lower tiers.
Exactly. You know, I came up, you know, I'm 41 years old. So I grew up with the Nintendo. You know, I got Nintendo for Christmas, and like it was like 87 or some crazy thing with Rob and everybody. So it was part of my childhood.
Yeah.
And then you know, like it's just always been a part of me that I got a girlfriend, you know, and like I got into computer games, yada yada yada. And my best friend, who I was in a band with, this band called Work Sucks. We've been friends forever, you know, actually since middle school. And this is like, you know, we're in our 20s now. And, you know, he's telling me about, you know, these competitions that his little brothers, you know, been crushing it. And he knows I'm a dork and into, you know, electronics and such. I'd gone on tour with a bunch of bands as like the tech, like fixing their instruments and stuff. So video games and old video games kind of like fall right in line with all that stuff. And you know, he'd been trying to get me to go to Portland forever. And you know, I knew Quaid, you know, baby Sean Ritchie since he was 4. So, and you know, I hadn't really caught up with him since he was like a little kid. So I just kind of had like this like idea of like this little version of him all grown up, like crushing Tetris, you know, like, and I'd see pictures of him on MySpace and like, okay, he's like got long hair. He's like a rocker kid. Oh, cool. Okay. But long story short, you know, they finally talked me into going in 2015. And you know, we were just having a bomb time, and it was the same year, you know, they were doing that little mini documentary on Quaid. So they were like, it's gonna be a party right away. We got to do this. So we went up there. I went up there with them, and I just had the greatest time partying and watching this amazing Tetris tournament. And as I was watching Quaid in the finals, you know, kind of, you know, really on the Portland mindset, you know.
So you were stoned.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so,
of course,
I just had this like this epiphany, and I was just like, dude, if I moved the D-pad to the right side, like maybe my thumb would be like on fire because you know, I'm texting, you know, all this stuff.
Right-handed,
I was just like, I think I could be the best Tetris player in the world. You know, so like I just kind of found this stupid niche, and then went home and made this controller and showed the dudes, and they were like, that's amazing. You know, and then somehow I don't even know the progression. All of a sudden, it just became something, and I'm doing this Kickstarter and feeling this weird niche, and then just jumping in head first. And you know, I barely make 400,000, but you know, I
you
feel
enjoy
like
it at least.
Yeah, I feel like
this
the whole classic Tetris community, like you know, I'm embraced, you know. Full status.
Yeah, people love it.
Especially when rolling started and when Cheese got to break all the world records using the Goofyfoot.
Yeah, I don't even know about that's insane to me. I'm still processing all that, so we'll have to get back to that and get to Quaid.
No,
that's
But-
that's like whole nother the whole.
But I
nother
didn't
But
level.
did you saw Quaid before 2015?
I'm trying to think because like his older brother Ryan, I think at that point was moved out of his house. So I might have seen, baby Sean Ritchie playing when he was like 10.
Yeah.
Because I would go over there to like pick up Ryan for band practice. And I have to wait for Ryan or whoever their game to finish because they were always playing Tetris. And I'm just like, dude, like, and they were always you guys were always playing Game Boy Tetris too.
Playing on the Super Game Boy.
Yeah, so they were all so those games last forever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Dad,
It
I pick up
is.
like his bass and like play a couple songs.
Yeah.
So I'm
just
sure
way to go.
I'm sure I saw, Baby Quaid play, every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until 2015 where I was just like, yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Of course he's crushing it.
Lamita's finest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Quaid, how did you start?
Well, like Steve said, I've been basically playing Tetris since the day I was born. It's really the only game that I kept playing after my childhood. Like I don't know. I was one of those kids that like I was born in 1990, so I was a little bit behind on Nintendo, but I had two older brothers. So like we had a Nintendo and like a Super Nintendo and all that. So I would play all these games with them, and Tetris was the one that all three of us, me and my two older brothers, were like kind of on the same level. So I was always they're like, let's play Tecmo Bowl. And I'm like, well, you've been playing this game for 15 years and you know every play and I'm like 7. I don't know. I'm going to lose by 100 points. But Tetris was kind of like the evening out game. But yeah, so I've been playing it forever. Like Steve said, I was really into the Game Boy version as a kid. I didn't start playing the Nintendo version until like 2010, whenever the first year. That was the first year, right?
Yeah. 2010 was first year, yes.
Yeah, so we had that version, we just never played it. We always preferred to play the Game Boy one, but
why?
It was just the one that I always played. I don't know. It was just it came with I think it came with Game Boy, right? Tetris.
Yeah,
and we didn't really have like too many Game Boy games, but for some reason, like Rye was always walking around with a Game Boy.
Right. He had like that flip one.
I had that.
Oh, you had.
I had the flip one. Rye had like the old, the big brick Game Boy, and then Kev had a Game Boy Color, and then I had the flip one, and we all like had copies of Tetris and would play and stuff. But yeah, no. So I didn't start playing the NES version until right before the first tournament. Whenever I saw the posting for the first ever Tetris Championship, and they said, "Oh, it's the Nintendo version," I was like, "Oh, I got to start playing it." So I really picked it up like a week before the first tournament, and then that's how I got it.
And all the practice from the Game Boy just went into the Nintendo version, and you just became cracked right away.
Yeah, it took me a while because I remember trying to figure out how to play the NES version, and it's completely different than the Game Boy one. Like, Game
different.
Boy, yeah, and the
left rails preferred to the Game Boy.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like to put my wells everywhere, because I grew up playing nothing but the Game Boy version. So
yeah,
I would say that, no joke, I was probably the greatest tapper of all time before I started playing NES Tetris. Yeah, that's how I got into the scene, and then the first year in 2010, I just spotted Matt Buuuucoooo randomly. I don't even know if I need to get into this story because that's completely different. I'll just say I'll end. Go. So in 2010, I still have the placard, the autograph placard from his computer.
From 2010?
2010, yeah, I still have it.
Dude, that's priceless.
It is.
But why Buuuucoooo? Of all people.
Well,
he's the people's champ.
Well, okay, so here's why.
But not at the first time that you met him. He wasn't the people's champ. He became the people's champ.
Well, I would like to take credit of saying I've made Matt Buuuucoooo the people's champ. No, but no, yeah, it was 2010, and me and my brother Ryan went to the the tournament, and we didn't qualify. So it was in like a movie theater. It was in this small independent movie theater, and me and Rye were like, all right, let's just stick around and watch the tournament. So I look at my brother before they call everyone up on stage, and I go, we got to find a guy. Like, we got to find a guy, right? And so they're like, oh, here's, Harry and Dana. And, people in the crowd are going nuts for their people that they know. And then they just said Matt Buuuucoooo. And me and my brother just immediately caught eyes. And we were like, this is the guy. So we just started yelling Buuuucoooo at the top of our lungs. And then it stuck.
That was it.
It was it, yeah. And what's funny about it was after the tournament was over, me and my brother went to talk to Buuuucoooo, right? We had no idea who this guy was. And we went up and we're like, dude, you killed it. And, you're great. You're our favorite. And he's like, I don't even know who you guys are. What are you guys doing? Why'd you pick me? And I was like, dude, your name. And like, yeah, it's great. And he's like, hey, you know where I can get some weed? And I was like, we picked the right guy. Like he's people's chair. Yeah, like I knew right then and there. I said he wears a golf glove, and his second question to us was, where can I get some weed?
Was he wearing the golf glove? The glove like day one?
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. He was.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. So yes, that's how I got into the scene.
It's 2010. CTWC just went for their first tournament. And out of nowhere, you saw that they were holding it somewhere in LA, I think.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to? I think 2011 was in Portland. Why did you decide? Oh, I saw this in 2010. Let's go to 2011. Let's go to Portland. Let's try to qualify again.
I think it was 2012. The first 2 years were in LA. Yeah. No, it's okay. 20.
So when did you get hooked?
I got hooked from the first day. I mean, the first tournament in 2010, whenever I saw Buuuucoooo, and if you go and watch the footage from that first year, like you could find it on YouTube. Like it's a party, dude. Like that environment was so fun, and I don't want to take credit for making it fun because everybody was into it.
Right.
But just me and Rye just screaming and heckling people, and the whole crowd got into heckling certain people, so everyone was getting the business and everyone's getting it was a party.
Yeah, you knew you were in a bunch of dry wood. You just somebody needed to spark it up.
Exactly. Yeah, I was the spark. But
Chris Higgins once told me that you and your brother always brought something to the table whenever CTWC came around.
Yeah, since day one. So yeah, since that first tournament, I saw that. I mean, I love Tetris; it's my favorite game, of course, and the environment was so much fun that I said, like, we gotta do that. Like, if they do this again, we have to go.
Was it different? Was it different 2012 to 2015, 2016, 2018?
The difference in the tournament itself?
Yeah, or the vibe?
I would say when it got to Portland in 2012, it was a little more quiet, a little more reserved. Not me.
Like it reset.
Yeah, because like the second year, which was in LA, was in a huge auditorium.
Right.
And like it wasn't a big thing, it didn't draw a lot of people, so trying to yell and make it exciting when there's like 1,000 empty seats with 500 people, it was just hard to get that energy out. And so when it got to Portland, they finally gave us like a space that was for like 200 people.
Right.
And I think people got scared to yell because they were like, you're 5 feet away from the guy you're yelling at.
Got it.
It was more of
and like you weren't like in the dark anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
Because everybody was like on a stage all lit up.
Exactly, yeah. Now it was like you're playing in the crowd. Like there is no separation. But I said, well, this is better for me. I can walk straight up to anybody and talk to them while they're playing. This is insane.
And your voice get echoed.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, oh God.
Oh, that's great.
I would hope that there's footage out there of like 2012 and 2013, and just you could just hear me screaming because like it was because we would, we used to just be put in the corner of the convention center. Like there was a whole convention going on, but Tetris was just like this tiny little thing in the corner that was doing its own thing. But I used to yell so loud that I wanted the whole convention to hear me.
Yeah.
So I was like screaming at,
Get in here.
And
yeah.
I hope that there's, audio of that. But yeah, so I was the one guy who kept or me and my brother, I should say.
Yeah, you better say that. He's gonna get
PZ,
pissed.
he'll never.
You better tell him who your brother is, just so they know.
My brother Ryan. Yeah. If you don't know, people out there, my brother Ryan, we like to call him Perfect Zero.
Why?
Because, I don't know, have you heard of Perfect Zero?
No.
No, okay, so he was competing one year. I don't remember.
I think it's 2016.
16? One year, he used to compete in these tournaments, and he was playing...
Against Bo.
Playing against Bo, and the first game, he literally got 0.
Joined the club of 0.
Yeah. And he was the first in CTW history to score a 0 during tournament bracket play.
Yeah, during a head-to-head
And
match.
if you go through every year, it stands out. It's like boom, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah.
But being a Richie brother, I think it's a record he wants to have on his name.
No, he does not.
Oh, he hates it.
Yeah, he hates it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him in here? He will not come in the bone zone.
He's too afraid.
No.
He has a very, very strange older brother syndrome that he's very competitive with me and my other brother Kevin, but because he's the oldest, he thinks he should be the best at everything.
Yeah.
Which in fact is funny because he's literally the worst at everything.
So, I'm the oldest too, and I can totally relate to that.
Yeah. So you get it. You always want to be better than your brothers.
You're of course.
I'm the oldest.
It's humiliated when you get defeated by your younger brothers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what's the age difference between you and him? Like 12 years?
11 years.
Oh, 11 years. Yeah.
My youngest brother is 6.5 years younger than I am.
Oh, okay. So there's a gap between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I always used to joke in the early years of this tournament because me and Rye would both qualify. And I'd always beat him. I'd always finish higher. and I'm like, dude, you had like an 11-year head start on me. And you've never stopped playing. How are you this bad? And then that just became a thing where I just kept driving home the point that I'm infinitely better than him. The one thing that he thought he had me.
Totally. I mean, he has to have, I would say almost now even, he might have more hours put into the game than you have.
Oh, I would assume, yeah.
Did he max out?
No, I think I've seen him get in like the high 7s, but he scores probably in like the 300s, 400s. He's not really that great.
Steve, I think that is something that we are going to achieve, putting hundreds of hours into this game and not getting any higher than 700k.
No, because I've seen Steve. Look, I've always said that me sitting here with Steve, by osmosis, his score has gone up.
Yeah,
just watching it being played.
That's true. Yeah, it has to be.
I don't play that often, unfortunately. When I'm playing, it's like when I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Because like the room is all like tore apart. So to like, do karaoke and stuff. And then I'm just like, I'm not going to stream. I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
And it's unless I'm actually like testing out controllers, like that's when I'm actually like playing with a real controller.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't even have a Goofyfoot controller that's not mounted in a guitar thing.
How did you came up with the shredder?
Well, the one time we were streaming, I mean, we always have like these like great idea sessions when we're streaming. We do a Twitch stream a couple times a week, and he'll usually just play Tetris, and I'll be like DJing or whatever and rolling the J's and coming up with the rad ideas, and and we have a lot of rad people in the chat, and somehow like it like sparked in my brain like if I was, this is like another one of those Goofyfoot moments. It was like, well, if I like had the controller like Cheese, like on his chest. I think I already had the Goofyfoot before Cheese did the chest thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, if I could like tap, I like heavy metal and all that stuff, and Van Halen is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And so Eddie Van Halen, one of his playing styles is he taps the fretboard with his right hand and his left hand, that's kind of his style.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, dang, like maybe if I like had it like Eddie Van Halen, I could now tap faster. Like my Goofyfoot idea didn't work out. Maybe this idea will work out. And at the same time, like I was motivated one weekend to like build the guitar, and I had some wood, so I put it together and it looked cool.
Yeah.
And then that's when CTWC happened, and Vince was like, do your guitar thing and you'll play Chris Tang, and he's got like a toy. I was like, okay, let's do this. And then it just kind of became like the controller I used.
Not anymore using a normal Goofyfoot.
Right. So it is a Goofyfoot. It's just mounted in the front of this guitar shaped piece of wood.
But does that make tapping better? Because you have a guitar-like piece so you can tap on.
I really like playing with it because it's like kind of how Barrett plays, where he has his controller on a table, so he's not holding it at all.
Yeah.
And so he's free to kind of like just vibe like a drummer or like a keyboard.
Like bongos,
And so it's the same with the shredder. It's holding the controller for me. Like all I'm doing is kind of like holding the neck up so it doesn't like fall down, and I'm just barely just touching it.
Just like a normal guitar.
Right. So like, I do still play a lot a lot of DOS, but I do tap with it every once in a while. I'm still in the 400s, so it's like there's no way I'm gonna call myself any other kind of player. I play on the shredder.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter how good what style I play, because I'm
you're getting scores. Yeah.
But anyways, like I do feel like you can do some fun stuff because it's holding the controller for you.
Sean, have you ever played on the shredder?
I've attempted it. I don't know, a handful of times, and it is really hard. Like really hard.
Josh said the same thing.
It's such a weird way to play. Like, I've been playing one way for 30 years. So like, to first of all, the thing is heavy. Like, I don't think people realize how heavy it is. It's a giant piece of wood. I mean, like, so it's like you're mounting like some like, medieval armor when you put it on, and then you gotta like play up here. You gotta play like at your shoulder. So yeah, it's really hard. I think I might have gotten like 2 Tetrises once, and I was like, that's enough. Like, I'm good. There's no way I could retrain my brain on how to do this.
I just got my PB with it and singing karaoke at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah. And watching you. You were a part of the whole
I was in
game, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was great.
Good.
Your cereal commercial.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Me teaching people how to eat cereal.
How often do you get reminded of that video?
Now? A lot.
I've been playing it a lot during the karaoke sessions. Okay. Yeah.
Which is so
great. It's just great.
It's so weird because I remember the first time that anyone brought it up was when we were streaming, and someone in the chat was like, "Hey, you eat any cereal today?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What kind of question is that?" And then I think the same person must have just like posted the link, and I was like, "I don't even remember. Like, that wasn't anything that I had remembered filming."
Classic.
And what's great is literally no one's seen that thing except for people in the Tetris community.
It's classic.
True.
Yeah.
Did you get an A? It was for a class or something, right?
It was for a job interview.
Oh, it was for the crazy job interview.
Yeah. I had to film a video for a job interview.
Did you get the job?
They offered me the job, but I'm not even going to get into that. It turned out to be a giant,
a pyramid
scheme, Ponzi scheme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that one of their steps in their application process was film a video explaining how to do something step by step, and I had no idea how to explain anything, and I went, oh well, cereal, you just like pour the cereal in a bowl, and then you put milk, and then I'm not even joking. This is before I filmed it. I went, okay, I'm gonna like just be an idiot and just go. You put a spoon in and then you eat it.
Yeah.
But then I looked at my fridge and I legitimately did not have milk.
You're like, shit.
And I went, well, I don't want to go to the store to buy milk. I got a bottle of water. So then I just filmed it.
Cereal with water.
Yeah.
It sounds disgusting.
It was not good. It wasn't. Here's the thing. It wasn't bad.
Straight
Have you ever had
freaking water.
Yeah. It's not delicious.
Oh man,
but it's edible.
When I was a kid, my mom would always try to pass off, like, I don't know, she always had like a box of like powdered milk in
No.
So it was like when she ran out, she tried to like throw that into the cereal, and that's all I could imagine that cereal tasting like.
It's not.
It was just like, this is bogus. This is water and like milk flavor with cereals. Wow.
It sounds like a broke student food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like wet cereal. Like somebody, I'd rather eat like just the dry cereal.
It's like if you opened a box of cereal and then walked outside during a thunderstorm, and just the box got damp, and you're like, all right, I'll still eat it.
Have you seen those hot dog eating contests where they just dip the hot dog in water? And like that's kind of just like,
yeah.
I saw that someone won the biggest event 13 times, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's
how.
Joey Chestnut is his name, right?
I think so,
the
right.
big guy. He wins every year in the Nathan
and then like the Asian dude showed up, right, and beat him.
Kobayashi, bro.
Yeah, right.
Bro, I know about him. Hey, if you want to...
I saw like a documentary of that guy like training.
He's an animal, bro. Okay, I am going to make this the most American thing you'll ever have on your podcast.
We're starting it off with NASCAR.
NASCAR?
We're gonna in the middle. We're gonna throw in some hot dog eating contest. Here we go.
The fact that I know the history of the hot dog eating contest proves how American I am.
USA.
But here's the thing. So Frank, you had MySpace back in the day. You know MySpace?
No, geez, I'm 24, so I'm like early Facebook guy, and we had a own social network here in the Netherlands, and then everyone stepped into Facebook. But I heard of MySpace, but never used it. I was like 6 or so.
Okay, yeah, MySpace was huge. Before that, before Facebook and all that. But I got hooked onto this hot dog realm, this rabbit hole of hot dog eating contest, and they used to promote all that stuff on MySpace.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, who is this little Japanese guy? He is killing people. Like, this is the most American thing. Like, shove your face full of food. And I'm like, how are we not number one?
Yeah.
And so, and I kept following it. And my very first MySpace profile picture was of Kobayashi eating a hot dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
Just shoving like 6 in his mouth. And then like doing this little, he does like a shake.
Yeah, he does that shake.
Yeah. He's like
it sounds so disgusting.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrifying, and I wouldn't have anybody watch it. But I don't know how I got into this hot dog.
But you know what's funny? Kind of like growing up in the Nintendo world, it's always been like Japan has been just better. At stuff as us. Yeah. And because just our brains have been so like Nintendo based. It's always been like in my mind that there's just been like these amazing Japanese video game players, and like the Americans are nothing.
Yeah.
So when it crosses over into your hot dog world, you're just like, dude, now they're eating the hot dogs.
Exactly, I know.
They're crushing the Marios. They're eating the hot dogs.
They're taking it over.
I
know, it's like America likes to think that we're number one at everything.
Right.
And the fact that a 106-pound Japanese guy was better at shoving his face in processed meat than these 400-pound American people. I liked it. I was like, well, yeah, this guy rules. America thought it's like the best, but no.
I mean, why else would the MLB called the World Series champion the world champion?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that goes with most sports in America. Like basketball, basketball, they call them the world champs.
Right.
It's like, bro, you're from Phoenix.
Right.
Like
Who would you play? Oh, Canada.
Oh,
nice.
You played Milwaukee. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're world champ. But yeah, so I don't know how we got on that topic, but I'm sorry.
TotalRadNES! Yo, this is Steve DeLuca of TotalRadNES, home of the Tetris World Order.
Bringing order to a chaotic world.
Ready to get rolling on the right side? Dominate the D-pad with a Goofyfoot controller. Visit TotalRadNES.com to score a controller modded by the inventor, me. We've also got TWO gear, CTWC approved hardware, and a ton of additional retrospective madness. Tune in to twitch.tv/TotalRadNES to watch Quaid and I take the BLV to 11. Also, don't miss the other homies at Aaron Jazamoki for the Boom Tetris house parties with the Kitchen Dwellers. And at Classic Vomps for those classic Tetris snugs. Be the best and keep it TWO for life.
If there's any goth girls out there that are listening to this,
Yeah.
you know where to find me. I am Quaid on Instagram. That's the easiest way. Goth girls, get in there. Thank you very much.
At I am Quaid.
Yeah.
We will return to the conversation with Steve and Quaid in a minute. But first, if you like the Peace Dependency podcast, help us grow. Please share the podcast with every classic Tetris fan. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Peace Dependency. You can like our Facebook page, Peace Dependency Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will have all the podcasts available at full length. Also, you can listen to the Peace Dependency podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Join the Tetris Friendlies Discord server. Besides the fact that it's the place to discuss anything PDP, you can also participate in some lovely friendlies or put your ELO on the line in the various ELO battles. If you have a suggestion we need to have on the next Peace Dependency podcast, let us know through our socials, the Discord channel, or send us an email to peacedependencypodcast@gmail.com. Now, let's go back to the conversation with Steve and Quaid, where we will be talking about Quaid not recording his gameplay. Let's go back to Tetris. Maybe that's the best thing.
It's all competitive mindset. I mean, and kind of bringing it back to Tetris, like seeing a lot of these players and the old players and the newer players, and you and your brothers brought in like that sports like mindset to it, that competitive mindset. Whereas like Harry and Jonas, like they were there to like play video games and win, but it just didn't have that same like.
Yeah, it didn't have an edge.
We're at like a basketball because you guys all played basketball. Like your middle brother Kevin, he was like
he was an animal.
Yeah. So like. And I think you guys like only had Tetris. I know Jonas only had Tetris, so he was. I feel like that's why you guys vibe so well, because he was just like, oh yeah, me too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, dude wore a jersey.
Yeah, that's right. He wore a football jersey. Yeah.
But did you play Tetris all year round?
From the start of the first tournament, yes. But I did it for maybe the first 4 or 5 years of the tournament. I was playing year round. And it was kind of an ongoing joke in the first 4 or 5, 6 years that I never would videotape my games. This was like before Twitch and all that. Like people would sit down with a video camera and would shoot their TV and record their games and then upload them to like Facebook.
Yeah.
And be like, look at what score I got. And
I mean, even Thor did it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you had to do it. And I would always not do that. I would just take pictures of my scores and upload them, and every single person would go, why don't you videotape the game? I don't believe it. Blah, blah, blah. And then it just became a joke where I was like, well, I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm just gonna keep posting pictures.
Well, I feel like you have a lot less to prove than a lot of people. You and your brother, I mean, like, he doesn't want to be PZ, where I would own that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, yeah, like, in the same sense, I don't think, you not making a video, like, whether your name shows up on some website or not, you don't care. You just care that they're seeing the score, and you're just like, yeah,
I'm there.
Yeah, B, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Let's get
They're
it.
talking about you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't even care if people talk
Right.
about me. It's just okay. So I'll quick side story about this entire thing. I was sitting in a college class once, and my phone was just vibrating like crazy. I was in the middle of some lecture, and I was looking at my phone, and I had all these like Facebook notifications and they all had something to do with either a picture that I posted of a score or someone else and whatever. And so I'm reading this thread like underneath my desk while this person's talking about like geography or something. We don't take geography in America. We don't know.
It's 50 things we need to know. No.
Yeah, and hot dogs is one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm like reading all of these things, and it's basically this giant fight of people arguing about me not videotaping my games. And I'm just like, I'm literally laughing in the middle of a lecture because I'm like, oh my God, these guys are really like mad that I'm not doing this. And then so I just thought, okay, whatever. And I just put the phone back in my pocket. And then it just kept vibrating over and over. And then I think either Kev, my brother Kevin, or Ryan started to call me in the middle of class.
We're just like, dude.
Yeah, and I think class ended and I called, I think it was Kev. And I called him back and was like, what's up? He's like, are you seeing how intense this thing is? I'm like, yeah, my phone's like going off in the middle of class. He's like, I didn't know people took it this seriously.
I want to know who it was.
Dude, it was like, I don't know. I mean, there was probably like 50 or 60
people, different.
Yeah, like replies in
Okay.
this thing. And then that really like
drove it home.
Yeah,
that would have been sick.
I don't know. It was a lot of people, but it
when
really
was that?
drove home. Yeah, it drove home the point that I should never give these people what they want.
Yeah,
I should never record these things. I like, and now we're on Twitch and we're doing it, but I was the last.
But still, you have nothing at home.
Yeah, I play at home all the time. Yeah. No one sees that.
You're like, dude, I hit 30. Yeah.
Is that still the reason why you're playing with Steve and not on a Twitch channel of your own?
No, well, we said for a couple of years before we started doing this, we needed to do this. But
right.
I wanted to do it in a way that was not just me sitting in a room playing the game. Call me crazy, but me watching one person sit in a room and play a puzzle game from 30 years ago, that doesn't interest me, like, at all. So I always told Steve, like, hey, if we're going to do this, like, we need to do it together, and we need to make it, like, funny, and we need to, like, interact with people, and, like, like, make it more of, like, a hangout than one person, like, practicing.
Right, and I'm kind of, like, of the old world, where, like, Twitch to me just seems like a bunch of TV channels or TV shows, so, like, coming in, like, I was just like, that's what I would do too. So even when he's not here, I don't want to just sit down and play. It's weird to me, like, I still love it and it's cool, but like, I have a goal. Like, okay, let me make a set of songs and I'm gonna karaoke these things. Like, let me just do something that nobody's doing and just be funny about it.
Exactly. Yeah, like we always wanted to just not look anything like anyone else.
The stream has to be about the people and not about the game.
Exactly. Basically, the game is just the reason why people show up.
Right.
The game could be anything. It could be. Let's keep bringing up hot dogs. If we had a hot dog eating stream,
that is what I want to see.
Yeah, maybe, dude, we should. That'd be a good idea. We're gonna have a hot dog eating contest on stream.
Invite Aaron, invite Buuuucoooo, and then just your four, just eating hot dogs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you know, why are we dunking the hot dogs in water? I just ate it.
Vince would be down.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We get
Probably.
Aaron in here too.
New
But
World
yeah, so
Championship.
yeah, exactly. The classic
long
hot
bars
dog,
all day.
Yeah, the classic hot dog eating championships. Chris Tang commentating.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom gullet. Boom swallow. Boom chew. But no, yeah, like
We've got a gagger.
yeah. But I remember. So this was like 2016 or 2017. I was getting told by people at the tournament, like, "Hey, you should get on Twitch. Like, you should do like you have this like you're like entertaining. You should get on." And I always told every single person, "You will never catch me doing that ever." And then eventually, when me and Steve started spitballing the idea, I was like, "Well, okay, I'm gonna go against everything that I stand for and play. Let people watch." But the original idea I had was to have like a band. Like I wanted to get Jordan and you. Like I wanted to be like a talk show.
Yeah,
where, like there was a band and it was me playing, and like you guys would like play music to the game.
I mean, that's still in goal.
It's still, that's eventually when we get a little bit more room.
I think you need a bigger room then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But yeah.
People always come in here like, dang, it's tiny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Every single person that comes in goes, "Man, this looks so much bigger." Like on the stream. I'm like, dude, it's like an 8x8 room, bro.
I saw a clip on Instagram that you had to couch on the side, and when you were preparing the live stream or the room for the live stream, is it a room that you use more than only a room where you live stream in?
I mean, it's kind of just turned into like the live stream room at this point. Like, there's like the computers like in the middle of the room, which and it's kind of like it on the other side. It's all like under construction, kind of still.
Yeah.
So I got like a dead TV in the corner, and
it's just full of stuff.
Yeah, it's become the bone zone.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pretty much your own room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets the funk. Yeah, it gets sealed off.
Yeah, we close that door. There's 2 women who live here, and we don't want to subject them to what we do in this room, so we close the door. But yeah, it's like when I think Tucker came, he came in and was like so pumped, and then he like outside, and then when he came into the room, he was like, this is like,
do that? I gotta sit right here.
It's like a storage unit. Yeah, like yeah, you sit there and watch all the wires that are running in every single direction.
It's like, don't move your feet.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, if you spill something, it's gonna short circuit the entire room, and we're gonna explode.
Yeah, it feels like my desk. It's wires everywhere.
I think Buuuucoooo like streams like under stairs or like in a closet or something.
It was in a phone booth somewhere. Yeah.
Whatever it takes, man.
What's the best thing that happened on stream?
So many good things,
dude.
I mean, first of all, we did a Gothic stream.
That's my favorite.
We're wearing some fishnets action. It was pretty funny.
That's our Halloween stream.
The shredder that became an idea.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
On stream,
and our homies in chat, like they've been introduced to like so much good stuff in the stream. Like just off the top of my head, Tanuk.
Yeah,
I want to say it was like Joporto just came in and just was like, boop, and then bounced. They were just like, what is that?
There's so much like, I don't know. It's like we're developing this very weird like sense of direction with like the people who come in. Like, you're going to like these things because we like these things.
Yeah.
Here's Heavy Metal Parking Lot. Here's George Brett pooping his pants.
Yeah.
Here's the Venom tapes. You're going to like these things.
Yeah. I mean, Talladega Speedway. You know about Talladega, right? I'm sure.
He knows
NASCAR. Yeah.
No, I'm sure, but the
video,
the all gas no brakes video,
it's
life changing.
It is. But to answer your question, the best thing that's happened on the stream, it's got to be the birth of TWO.
Oh no,
dude, that happened on the stream, dude.
Yes, yeah.
What's the TWO? Please explain what it is.
Steve, I'm
Okay, so Kingsman was on the show, and and Chris, and you guys were talking about them going back and forth, and it was like it all kind of happened like at the same time as we were talking about doing that forever too, because Randy Savage is like my great uncle.
Yeah, we grew up loving
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm the macho man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan, you gotta get it.
You know.
He knows.
Yeah. So like,
sure you didn't grow up in the South? My God,
Nah.
NASCAR, professional wrestling?
right, yeah. So
I,
like,
you're
I
from
love
Alabama,
I
aren't
love
you?
American sports. I think they are better than most European sports because entertainment value is way higher than
Oh yeah.
than a
I
European
would much
sport.
rather watch Macho Man fight, Jimmy Snuka than watch, a soccer game or something.
Yeah.
There's more entertainment to be there.
football.
But yeah, go. Sorry.
But yeah. Anyways, like so, like eh, was the TWO wasn't even around the first one we did, and I forgot who you were playing,
I
but
was playing Sharky.
oh, Sharky. Okay, so they did a promo, and I think they were still like on the back and forth, and they hadn't done their match. And we had jumped in, and I kind of did like a Mean Gene like interview version promo with him in the garage. So like it just like the wrestling buzz was just like on fire at that point.
Yeah.
And the Kingsman was in the chat on our stream, and his brother Kevin was in the chat. And his brother Kevin is like bleeds wrestling too.
Still watches wrestling.
And so like I don't even know. I think just Kingsman just said it like Tetris World Order.
I remember
Or just like
because okay, so to go back a few years, Chris Brady, who is one of the better Tetris players in the community, we're good friends with Chris Brady.
Yeah.
And he's a huge wrestling fan too. So me and Chris would always talk about, and this is back in like 2013, 2014, we're like, the only way that this tournament in person can get like better is if we make it like pro wrestling.
right.
So we would always be like, there should be intros, there should be like,
True.
there
Right.
should be music, we should have entrances and all this stuff. And so me and Chris used to go to Vince every year and go, dude, we got to make this like pro wrestling. Like, I want to like grab a microphone and like cut a promo and then go play. And Vince was always 100% on board. He's like, the more outlandish and the more cartoony you can make this thing, do it. So that's when I started to amp up the character of Quaid.
Right. And it kind of goes back to your like day one where you were just like, we need a guy.
Yeah.
Because it was fresh to you and you didn't have a guy. You didn't have a reason to be there.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, like, and at this point, like, there's these characters, we're the real people, but like, yeah, you had Harry, Jonas, Buuuucoooo, just these rad people, and you want to shed light on them as like a personality.
Exactly.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
And
Who are these people?
and the people you don't even know yet. I mean, there's a dude showing up with the Darth Vader mask on with dreadlocks. Well, there's so many awesome. There's
the first year there was a woman who showed up in pajamas.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I like her.
Yeah,
She's
and
in pajamas.
Yeah, we got Paul Tessie, who's a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's down from day one. People are ready to drop these promos. Yeah, if it, it's there.
The world of wrestling and Tetris is way closer together than people think.
Yeah, they're parallel parties that they're starting to arc between each other because they're getting closer and they're becoming one. I feel like,
and we always wanted to make a group.
Yeah,
like we always said there should be teams.
Right.
That was the thing that we used to talk about. And then it just organically happened of like, oh well, like there's a new world order or whatever, and we're like making jokes about it. And then I think someone just typed,
Kingsman
just typed Tetris World Order, and we looked at each other and went, "That's it." And then
within like seconds, your brother had made a logo.
And like within probably 10 minutes, my brother Kevin sent us the logo for Tetris World Order, and it was born like right there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're gonna start pumping this out.
Yeah, and then I just like touched it up a little bit and made like the one kind of Tetris pieces, and then his logo is still the same logo on the bottom.
Yeah. But
I
it
like.
mostly it's just a group. It's just
Right.
you know.
Well, and you know what? It's funny is, I was doing these surveys before CTWC 2020. And in the survey, I did like affiliation just to see what people were going to put. And I put like IE, like TWO. And, we were getting a lot of these like S flats and stuff from like the Joseph Cruz and just trying to see what people would put in
Yeah.
there.
Who they show allegiance to.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then, but it's funny, I just feel like it's not like there's not room for groups, just everybody it's just one giant group still. And like nobody
is.
wants to like affiliate with one thing because they don't want to like burn bridges with
Yeah, they don't want to
anybody.
alienate themselves.
So like it's funny, like I've
I
been
don't
talking
fully
with
agree, to be honest,
Well-
because I feel like there are different bubbles. When you stream, you have a certain audience. You have like the skaters, you have the wrestlers, you have
okay.
people who are like you who coming into your stream. I think if Joseph streams or if Doc streams, they will get a very different audience and a
Mhm.
bit very different interests.
Yeah, well, I mean that's true, but I'm saying like as a player, you're not gonna want to affiliate with. I mean, maybe I'm just totally biased, and I want to love everybody.
Yeah,
So I don't want to be like excluding anybody. So when people were just like, "No, TWO," I'm like, "No, that's not it. Like we're all TWO."
Yeah,
True.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. The whole Tetris community
Right.
is TWO.
So
It's just we know that we're in it.
right.
It's people don't know they're in it.
Yeah,
yet.
they don't know it, and I really have to fix the commercial because there's one part where you can't hear it, and basically I can't remember what the line is, but it's basically bringing order to a chaotic world, and that's like I feel like all of our mindsets playing Tetris, like we love to organize. And that's why the community's so good because we're all good at organizing, whether it's social, whether it's playing a video game. Like, look how many freaking Discord servers we got. Like, what
A
other
lot.
communities? I mean, maybe like a major new Nintendo game, but you tell me one classic video game that
Yeah.
has this many Discord groups.
Oh
Zero.
man, look at the,
Yeah.
the major tournaments: CTM, CTG, CTBs, Classical Ball Friendly, CTL.
Ugh.
Those are the major tournaments. I mean, like I counted them last. I mean, 40 different Tetris-related Discord groups.
Yeah, and what?
40?
Yeah, and
Oh, God.
it's
Mine
amazing.
is zero. Yeah.
And like, why do we do it? We do it because we want to bring, good vibes and
Yeah.
good things to this community. Like
Yeah.
we want, like, we're all not here to wait for a tournament once a year. We're here to play. We're here to have fun.
Yeah.
Like that's why I started doing qualifiers and jumping into that because I saw a niche, like people still wanted to play, and if I could get somebody a plane ticket to the major thing, it could get people there, and like, and with the Discord, and with Discord and Twitch, you don't even have to offer anything because it's as easy as just turning your computer on and your video game and playing. You don't have to like buy a hotel room
Yeah.
and go somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just
And still, you're not very active playing matches. You're more active in being there, streaming, and having fun.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Because if everyone was just there to play, it would be 5 people. It would be like when I do a rock show. It would be like my rock band and then the other rock band that's playing right before me watching us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like there's more people in the chat than there is there to play. And that's TWO.
Yeah.
That's
Fan.
TWO.
But do you want to go back to the competitive scene or just stay at the casual, relax side of the streams?
I would love to go back to being extremely competitive.
Yeah.
Like in person.
Right.
Not
Because-
online.
You know what? I think our schedule's been kind of messed up with COVID and work schedules and stuff. For a while we had a pretty consistent streaming schedule, so it was a lot easier for people to schedule us or
Watch.
Quaid into events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, like that's our problem. That's his problem, my problem, as I guess pseudo manager or whatever. Like, let's get right to it.
You're my Paul Bearer to my
I'm your encourager. I'm just here to encourage this dude to play.
Give him a space.
So if you think about it, like every time he's gonna play in an online tournament, he's got to drive a half an hour to my couch.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Like, so like, yeah, I feel like, we definitely, I would love to see him playing more in these online tournaments and online those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the scheduling. We tried to do. We tried to do the month, the league for a hot second, and I was even in it, and I think I played like 3 games. I was like, sorry guys, all zeros, and they were even pissed, like you're messing up my scores.
Yeah, but I want to get back to playing in person.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
I think everyone, I don't know if everyone feels the same way, but last year with the tournament being online, it was great because you had probably twice as many people who are able to play because they can't fly to Portland, right?
For sure.
But there's something about sitting in that room,
right,
with live with a crowd and with music and with lights, and the cameras pointed at you. It's such an insane experience.
Yes,
that I can't wait to get back to that. That's what I want because, when we played in those tournaments, online or whatever,
right.
The energy was different. So I didn't care if I did well. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at most of the streamers now, a lot of them don't even show their cameras. So like you're just seeing their games, and games are exciting, but there's something about being there, like watching Tessie, beat Jonas was insane.
That was crazy.
Yeah, because he freaked the F out.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was bawling. It was so intense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm even getting worked up right now.
It made that win more impressive with the reaction he had.
Yeah, and like you won't even get a 10th of that online, even with world champion, whatever.
Yes.
It's never going to be the same as being there and watching that go down.
Yeah, that was great.
Right now, there is a CTWC live qualifier in South Carolina.
Yeah, what's his name?
Chris Bidwell. And Beeston Shen is going to host one in Ohio. So there are already 2 live events scheduled for this Road to CTWC 2021.
Yeah, I'm ready. And then 2022 is just gonna go off because I feel like everything's gonna fire back up, and I'm ready. Vince and I have been talking, and we're ready to bring it. I mean, if we could get like 64 events around the world or something crazy, and they all sponsor like a player, like it could be like
be like NASCAR.
Yeah, like NASCAR. It could be like a full on like Nintendo World Championship. Like that's how World Championships should be.
Yeah.
There should I feel like the actual tournament should be like the bracket, and then maybe like a month later it'd be like the finals. That's my mind.
You just said last episode that you wanted to do something under the TW banner about something like that. Is it that you indeed want to organize different tournaments, or that various organizers can organize different tournaments all over the world, and then they fly everyone out to set location to have a real live world championship?
Yeah, I mean that's my goal. So I started the qualifiers in Los Angeles. That was like the SoCal or the West Coast qualifier, and I did that for 2 years, and those games were insane. That last one, oh my gosh! Great. So those were just like all top tiers. Like Game Scout came to the last one too, and anyways, like. And then I started one in Phoenix, and that's the desert qualifier. And they were already holding one in Dallas, and I went one year and turned it up to like an event, because what they were doing was whoever ended the weekend with the highest score got the ticket. And so I went there, and with Joey Parker, use his computer and his setup, and we actually did like brackets that year. And so we kind of like turned that into more of an event, other than just it before. It was just like Joey and Chad sitting in a corner by themselves playing Tetris for a whole weekend.
Yeah.
No, a whole weekend. I tried to get a better score so they could get that plane ticket. It was pretty funny. But anyways, like, yeah, I'm all about the qualifiers because they're these awesome events where they're small enough where everybody gets to talk and vibe with everybody.
Yeah.
The championship, you can do that, but it's so huge. There's so many people that you want to talk to at the same time. It does get overwhelming.
It's overwhelming
for sure.
But
should there be an open qualifier for the World Championship itself, or should there be this should be a qualifier only for the people who already qualified for that final?
I feel like the downfall of the championship is the qualifying day, because everybody gets burnt out. It's such a grueling day.
Yeah, it's a grind.
Even the last one I ran like the door for, and I was done.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even playing. So like to see these people wait in line for 20 minutes just to play one game, the frustration level alone, I think, was exhausting for them.
What should be different then?
I just like, I would love to see, just a bunch of qualifying events, and then all those qualifiers come to the World Championship.
Well, yeah, that's how the first year of the tournament in 2010, they had 5 automatic qualifying.
Yeah.
Right.
People to qualify. So you were, whoever showed up that first year, you were playing for 3 spots. Yeah. I agree with Steve. If there were, let's say, 10 to 12 qualifying events throughout the year, maybe like once a month, right? In a different city, there's 12 automatic bids for the tournament.
For sure.
And then you could go, okay, well, they're automatic bids. Then that Saturday at the World Championships, we could have everyone else qualifying, but those 12 people could be like, well, I'm in.
Right.
Like,
but
there should be...
could you imagine if there wasn't even a qualifying day at Portland? If you just showed up right into the bracket?
Would need a lot of qualifying tournaments.
But why couldn't you get to... There's the whole world, man. We got all year.
There were a lot of qualifying tournaments.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're already primed to we just have to go like, ka-ching, let's go.
Yeah.
Because I would even say some of the bigger events, you could get them to sponsor 2 players if they're big enough. Like, like send the 2 best players. Send the 2 finalists, or
I guess
you could arrange all that beforehand.
Yeah, I guess you could be running so many qualifying tournaments that you go, okay, well, there's going to be 64 winners of these 64 qualifying tournaments, and then those are the people who are going to Portland.
Yeah,
or these 64 people.
And then you could just do brackets all Saturday, and then do like top 8 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then it could just be... Sunday is so exhausting. I don't even know how we do a party every year. That last year was insane.
Yeah.
Because after the tournament, Vince, Trey, Adam, and the whole crew, Bidwell, like myself, we all stay behind and break it all down, and then put it all on these pallets, and so it could get to storage and stuff. Meanwhile, everybody's over rocking this party.
I'm 9 beers deep.
Yeah, and so
Steve's rapping Nintendo.
Totally. So like, by the time we get to the party, like it's on 100.
Yeah.
So we just jump right into it, which is cool. Yeah. But like, wow,
it's tired.
It's exhausting, And I think a top 8 just on Sunday, it would be mind blowing.
Yeah.
And it would give people so much energy. I think it would be insane.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Should then the matches stay the same length if you go for top 8 only best of 5, or do you think that the matches should be longer if you only have the top 8?
I think, you do the longer top 8 matches. Why not? You get a better survey of the overall, player versus.
I could see like keeping it best of 5, and then maybe the finals like best of 7.
Oh, okay.
And just
Well,
being like,
that's how it is now, right?
no, I think it's all best
It's
of
all
5.
in best of 5, but in PAL there is a CTEC had a best of 5 through everything except the finals, and that was best of 7. But the online tournaments is best of 7, except for the finals that it's best of 9.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's just like a arm wrestling match.
Dude, I might even not for the world championships, but for like an online tournament. If I was running it, I would go, all right, it's best of 5 the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then the finals, 1 game,
Whoa.
Super Bowl. You better play good.
I mean,
Ready
yeah.
to go. Like, because you
Yeah.
know what? If you're good enough
With-
to get to the finals, you're gonna have a good game.
You know what? That I mean, during like during the Jonas run, that could have definitely been so upsetting.
Yeah.
Every time.
Jeff would have won 2016.
You know, and
I
that
could have won. But still, like, if you narrow Tetris down to one game,
one game, you just go.
yeah, because I mean, in the early years,
That people can be throwing control.
I know, yeah, you're gonna
I'm
see-
more a hockey guy, and I love a Game 7 Stanley Cup final
yeah.
overtime goal, and if it ends with one
Yeah.
game, I'm like, it's if it's I don't know, I'm more like building up the hype.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
into the foreplay. I'm into the intercourse. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's get it, like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is one
One
game.
game,
You
yeah.
better play your
Everyone's
best game.
fresh.
Everyone's watching,
Totally.
and literally everybody you know is watching.
Totally.
So don't
And
screw it
anything
up.
can happen.
That's true.
Dang, I never even thought of one
You
game
put in the pressure. Well, because okay,
for the finals.
it always was best of 3
Yeah,
in the early
Woo!
days.
Yeah, yeah.
It was all even the finals back in the day used to be best of 3 because they used to just speed through that stuff. Only a couple of years ago did they go, all right, we're gonna go best of 5.
Right,
it was
right.
only 2-3 years ago. Even when it was best of 3, I was like, all right, if this were 1, this would be insane. Because even best of 3 was awesome.
Right.
Because like if you won
And
one
if-
game, you're like, next one.
Yeah.
Hey, let's end it. Yeah, it's like the heart starts
Totally.
beating, you know. But if you just did like, all right, here's a tournament. You
Yeah.
got one game. Ready, go. Like,
Look at PC go!
yeah, we got 6 this game. And I always said years ago that there should be a secondary tournament going on at the same time where it's all level 19.
Oh, right.
Because there should be, you know, we always start at level 18, but every single player, especially now, people are so good at this game that level 18 doesn't matter. Everyone is able to play on 19, where in years past,
Yeah.
that's where everyone would kind of
Right.
lose.
Right.
But people are so good now. Just start the tournament at 19.
You know what's funny? It kind of like in the same realm as NASCAR. Like 18 is just like those like, you know, those like so many
Get
laps
loose.
until the last.
it's like the first 160 laps in Daytona 500.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Yeah.
like, cool, we're cruising, don't crash, don't
Yeah,
be
play
stupid.
safe, whatever. There should be no playing safe.
No, just
It-
go. Yeah,
Level 19, one game,
right.
beat me.
I mean,
Yeah.
when do they just say level 9? Like, why
It's
can't we
getting
just
there.
go finals level 19?
I saw that if you go 230 lines on 19 all the way, it's not interesting for the viewers. You're setting up your first part on 18.
Right.
You try to transition close to 550, 600k,
True.
and then you build up those last 100 lines to race to the finish. Let's see who will reach high scores. Because if I'm restreaming myself, if I call a match, the first 130 lines, I'm like, oh, looking at chat, keep giving score updates or all that.
Exactly.
Not really.
right.
I do pay attention to the match, but it's not 100%. But once we go into transition and we have those last 100 lines,
Exactly.
then I'm fully focused and can see the commentary and hype is going up and all that. And I think if you go 230 lines, 19 only, the casual viewers, 19 play is fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're burnt out before you're even
If you're
there.
a casual viewer, yes.
As a
Yeah,
watcher.
I think so.
Mhm.
I can see that.
But as a side tournament, it should be cool.
Like I said, everyone who's good at this game knows that 18 is boring.
Right.
You know?
I mean, well, I mean, it gives you a chance to like show your skill too. Like, this is the kind of player I am.
Yeah.
Sharky said that he was using 18 to set a story, and that's the 19 is the conclusion of that story.
Ooh, damn, Sharky!
Wow, I didn't know
That's
we had
beautiful.
a poet in the community. Yeah,
I did.
I just I go the exact opposite route because I'm not a wordsmith. But
I bet he said it in the most beautiful voice too. Like,
yeah,
like took a second and just said
a spotlight hit him in the face.
Yeah,
like Hamlet.
Oh, I gotta find that. I bet it's great.
It's on the show.
Is that on your
Yeah, it told me
stream?
that.
I mean, on your. Oh, okay. I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna re-listen.
Yeah, my 18 is just stay awake.
Yeah,
That I don't even care about the score. I just whatever. I got 100 and something.
Isn't the
lines.
hungover more the reason why you need to stay awake?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible here, Frank. But yeah, I like. Don't get me wrong. I like 18, but after you just play it over and over, it's like T-ball. You know, it's like it's slow. And you're not really doing much. Just get me to the real game. I like I said before, I am not for like the build up. I'm just give it to me, dude. Like I want to play 19. I want to play that's Tetris to me.
let's go.
Yeah, like let's play the game.
Yeah.
But whatever. This is a long tangent.
Well, quick question for you.
For me.
In 2015 when you were second place,
Mhm.
you know, I if you haven't seen the mini documentary, Google it.
Google it, bro.
But we had a hard time waking you up, you know, the day
Yeah.
of the tournament because we had, you know, done some pretty fun things the night before. Anyways, Portland is a great place, and it's a great place to have a tournament.
It's an alternative city.
Yeah, it's like
It's
that's
different.
we're alternative people, so we
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah,
Instantly.
we fit in well.
But going back to my question,
Okay.
if we didn't have such a fun night before
Mhm.
and you woke up fresh,
Yeah.
do you think first of all, do you think you would even have gotten to the finals? Or do you think you would have done better on the finals?
If I wasn't hungover,
I kind of think you wouldn't even have made it to the finals.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I think, you know, because there's a level of, I don't know how to say it, like dulling my brain.
Yeah, I could see it. Like I watch you, and I was like, oh, he's in his head right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah,
PG.
he's fugged.
Fugged.
But yeah, no, I think it's a level of, like, I think Jonas said it a long time ago. It's like your brain has like this RAM, and it's like you need to just turn it off.
Oh, okay.
And just let it work.
Right.
Don't think about it. Just let it work.
Right.
And that's how I am at those tournaments. It's like if I was a stone cold sober, I'd be like, that piece goes there. That piece goes. I would be thinking.
You got to turn it off. Yeah.
If I'm hungover and I'm like
wire it direct.
trying to die, like not to die at the moment while I'm
Totally.
playing, you know, as just like sweating,
That voice
hating the
don't
lights.
throw up, don't throw up.
Yeah.
Don't throw up.
If I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna crap.
Your attention is not on the game; it's on your body. So that's why you don't need to think about the game.
I'm not thinking about the game. I'm just letting it play
Yeah.
itself. I'm just putting it. Yeah, it's. I don't want to overthink, and being hungover is perfect to not overthink.
I kind of hit that same level when I'm doing karaoke and playing.
Mhm.
Because I'm singing songs and like going back reading lyrics and back to the screen and
Yeah.
stuff. So like like sometimes I'm just like I'm oh dang, I'm doing
That's
good.
the moment you know you effed up.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
totally. And then I'm like no.
Exactly.
And then I'm trying not. And sometimes I'm like stop talking to me, chat. 'Cause the chat like reads in my ear too while I'm like doing karaoke. So,
I have the same. I'm like, oh yes, 250k at 65 lines. Okay, if I can keep up this pace, 500k transition, and then 10 lines later, top out and.
oh man, I'll see it and it's like my heart rate just, like increases instantly, like on it.
You know what's funny? Is there's always that joke of like you have a really great 18.
Yeah.
You got like 650,000. You go to 19 and then you die like in like 4 pieces.
Right.
I was playing at home yesterday and I had the second best transition score I ever had.
Oh yeah.
I had like 700. I think I had 700,000.
Yeah, totally.
And I my final score was like 710.
It's just that.
And like that's because I thought about it.
Yeah.
Because I went, oh my god, like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Don't screw this up.
Yeah, like,
As soon
this
as
is
you
the
tell
best
yourself,
thing.
don't screw this up, it's over.
and it's not even like I misdropped. It was just like, oh, the pieces didn't come. And if I didn't think about how good my score was, I would have gotten different pieces.
Dude,
it's that weird neuroses you have.
You've seen me. I'm the worst at that. Once I put my foot in quick stand, I fall in deep.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ah!
Yeah.
You're like, what happened, dude? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a misdrop, and then the next piece I misdrop on top of that, and then I just keep, it's just like,
Yeah.
make this staircase all the way to the top. Like, oh, what happened?
It's you misdrop once and it's like a fire. It just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, instantly.
Instant.
Gasoline.
I can
the whole
relate.
The whole floor is Svavar.
Yeah, that voice in my head is the gasoline.
You
Don't screw
messed
this
up,
up.
you son of a
So that's where the hangovers come in.
Yeah.
Huh? They just
Yeah,
dull the
they just dull
gasoline.
Right.
What's the best beverage to drink before the night before a match?
Oh. Well, I mean, of course, Mighty Swell.
Yeah, we've been loving the
I
mighty.
heard you had a sponsorship of the Mighty Swell, Steve.
We do, yes. I don't think we have any in it, but just so you can see it.
Yeah, I mean they're
know.
they're
They send us
and
beer
like
here.
they're from Austin and they're just cool people. They've got a good alternative vibe and they're really into painting murals and stuff.
Yeah, they're
they're fun.
artsy. They're a small company, which was good because me and Steve said when we started the stream, like, dude, we need to get sponsors because like we're just gonna be running through beer.
Yeah,
Like, we need free stuff. So
for a
eventually,
while, Mike Lopez was just sponsoring.
there was a dude, there was
Yeah.
a guy in our chat who would just give us money, and he's like, "This goes to your beer," and I'm like, "Thank you," because like my bank account is like running
Instead of
thin.
buy me a coffee, buy me a beer.
Yeah, exactly. But the Mighty Swell people are great. They're a small company based out of Austin. They're good people. I talk to them regularly, and they're all nice. And they send us
fanny packs.
They send us fanny packs and
Koozies.
koozies and hats. And but yeah, before the Mighty Swell, we were huge on PBR. I was actually sponsored by PBR.
Yeah, PBR.
For one tournament a few years ago.
And then Buuuucoooo just took over.
Google thought we were all sponsored.
He was like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
You had that sponsorship shirt last year in CTWC.
Yes. Yeah. I decided that playing at on Steve's couch right here wasn't as exciting as it could be, just in my head. And I went, why does everything keep coming back to NASCAR? We had this idea.
That's right.
We had this idea of like my
selling
t-shirt.
your
My T-shirt should look like a NASCAR
Yeah.
car with like all different logos
Right.
and stuff everywhere. So we came up with that idea, like, oh, buy a spot on a shirt, put whatever you want on it, and it was fun.
Funny.
It's a good shirt. I think it's over there.
Yeah, well,
It's literally right there. Let's see.
Are you going to do the same thing for this year's CTWC, or are you planning something else?
I don't even.
I had an idea about a week ago, and I haven't seen Steve in a while, but I'm not at liberty to speak about it on the podcast.
Okay.
I will tell you off camera
Nice.
or off mic, because I do have an idea that I think would be pretty good.
Sweet. I'm
I'd
I'd
about
love
it.
to have the scoop.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Something will be different. It won't just be two sweaty guys sitting in Tetris. It's going to be something interesting.
Two sweaty guys in a hot tub.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did you figure out my
And
idea,
see,
Frank?
It's
Random deal,
like
dude.
we're two
But-
people, same mind, same kind of people.
Exactly.
That would be amazing if you just go in a hot tub and just play Tetris.
That would be. I feel like we could fit a hot tub in here.
Yeah,
Even if it's a small
we could get,
one,
like-
it doesn't really matter.
like a kiddie pool and just
Let's go.
yeah,
It falls through the floor.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there is something happening, and yeah, I've never wanted to show up to these tournaments and be myself. That's why the Quaid character came out. But yeah, I always like to add a little bit of flair to it because, like I said, if it's just me, I wouldn't watch me play. But if I was doing something funny, I would watch it. So that's why I always have some sort of name.
Are you sometimes getting tired of the Quaid character? Because people saw you as Hauser, saw you as, what was it, ZZ?
Oh, Zizix.
Zizix.
Yeah. I did at that time when now Hauser was not me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's get that out there.
I thought he was from Japan.
He was from Mars.
Oh, Mars.
Yeah.
But he was living in Japan.
He was living in Japan. I hired him. I never even met the guy. I hired him. I paid for his plane ticket, and he left. But when
imposter.
but at that, yeah, but at
That's
that
the imposter
point,
among us.
yes, not me. Yeah. But at that point in the my tournament, I don't even know how you say it. My
Your career.
Yeah, your reign
career or
Yeah.
whatever, you know. At that point, it got to me. The character got boring.
Yeah.
Quaid.
Quaid
Okay.
got boring. So because
Because that was just you. I mean, honestly,
it's
to
an
me,
amplified version
Oh,
of myself.
oh. Okay.
I think most characters in wrestling are, at least the normal characters in wrestling are
Yeah.
an amplified person of,
It's just
it's over the top.
I feel it's just you at a convention. It's just I'm me at a convention, the
Yeah.
same amplified. You know, like it's not like I feel like you're not really bringing anything
that isn't already here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, around that time when we sent Hauser and then I was Zizix,
Yeah.
I got bored with it and I said, "There's got to be something else."
That was
to
all.
this."
Yeah, that was a lot. Whoever was doing that was acting.
Yeah,
That was a lot
100%.
of acting.
A lot
Those
of
two.
acting. But yeah, so but then coming back from
The return.
like Zizix,
The return.
it refreshed me.
Yeah.
So now because like there's only so many amount of times
With a clear mind.
yeah, it's like when Michael Jordan retired and played baseball for 2 years.
True.
That's what that was.
True,
He's
yeah.
like, I need something different. And I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back. But because there's only so many times in those early years, the first 5 or 6 years of the tournament, I heard, "Hey man, are you drunk right now?"
Oh,
like
yeah.
70 times a day, and I was like, unless you're handing me a beer,
Yeah.
don't ask me that.
Yeah. No, that,
And that's where I got tired of it. Like I can't do that anymore because
that's like asking a lady, like, "Hey, are you on your period right now?" Like, yeah, I get it.
it just became tiresome me answering the same question over and over. And I went, okay, I got to get a different angle. But I think now, and that was back when people weren't in on the joke.
Right.
People thought I was really that person all the time. But now everyone's in on the joke, so I do like the character.
How did you came up that you were from Antarctica, the last CTWC?
That actually was not me.
Again.
This was Vince.
Yeah, I think
Vince,
Vince just
the
put it in.
creator of the tournament.
Vince
He
said that
sent
you were from
everybody, like,
Antarctica.
Yes.
Really? I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke from you.
No. I filled out his bio sheet that he sent out to all the players, and I guess I must have not put anything in like "Where are you from?" I must have skipped the question, and then the first time that I ever saw that I was from Antarctica was at the tournament. And we sat down, and the flag was blue, and I was like, "Oh, I was like, what did I write down?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, I didn't write down anything. And then so I had to call Vince, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I put it in there." Like,
wow.
Yeah.
But that was a.
Vince added that little
It
gem.
fits. It just fits.
Yes. Yeah. I used to say in years past that I was from Mars.
Right. I mean, because you were.
I am from Mars, but yeah, the Antarctic angle is very good.
Where you got to clear your mind because it's full of emptiness.
Exactly. It's full of penguins.
Yeah.
And it's my fortress of solitude.
Nice. Is it like underground, under ice?
Everything's under ice.
Steve, we have to take this podcast into an infomercial, I think.
Yeah, let's go. What do you need?
We need
just straight up.
Yeah, we'll just do a live TotalRadNES ad.
Come on,
it's like a radio spot.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah. So right now, let me just give you a little update on the TotalRadNES scene here. I am doing the Goofyfoot mod controllers, modding them for everybody. Yeah, it does take me a little bit, but I've got a good system going on now. So I do them in big batches now. Well, batch of like 10 or 12. I got a batch going out next week, but now I'm starting to offer like a mod kit. So if you're decent at soldering, you could make your
Yeah.
own. So you don't have to wait for me to get off my butt and get it going. Yeah, I'm an electrician too, so I got and I'm a dad, and
No, you're not just a dad. You're DILF.
Yeah.
You have been given that honor through the community.
Oh, okay.
You are the
I'm a DILF too.
Get it?
two
Yeah,
Are you in the tournament?
of course I am. I'm the youngest DILF in this tournament.
DILFs.
Heck yeah. I was typical DILF. I was late to the party.
Of course,
I
yeah.
was like, hey, what do I do
I
to
had to take
sign
my
up? They're
kid to
like,
Little League practice.
oh, you can't be in it. You're late. I'm like, well, I already won then.
Yeah.
Sucker.
But I would say you are the DILF
Oh, okay.
in the community.
Well, nice.
Yeah,
I'm
you
about
have
it.
you should have a DILF crown or something.
Yeah.
You are the king. King DILF.
King. Well, anyways, yeah. But I can't even get my daughter to help out, so I'm still behind on stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got TWO gear. I do have an NES cartridge that it's a full album. I put out a chiptune compilation album through my friends Swedish Columbia, cool homies out in Sweden /
Columbia.
well, the Columbia is the District Columbia out of Washington, so it's
Also
like
not the South.
it's
American
Washington. No, Washington D.C. / So it's got the some punk rock roots to it. Anyways, I put that out on NES cartridge, so it's one of the first albums, like full length album that plays full audio through your Nintendo and out your TV.
That's amazing.
It's kind of like a funny niche thing.
Has it 8-bit sounds?
No, it comes with a little like a little module you plug into the bottom of your Nintendo, the expansion port, and it unlocks. There's on the American Nintendo, and I'm maybe the PAL too. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But there's an audio channel in there that's not unlocked. It's a Famicom sample
Yeah.
channel. And so you put this adapter that comes with my game, you put that in there and it unlocks that channel, and my game plays. Well, it's basically an MP3 player built onto the circuit board, and it plays the audio through that sample channel and then out your TV.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it has like a menu and some stuff you can do while you jam the album.
Wow.
But I got that coming out pretty soon, and then I'm also working on a new Nintendo game. Actually, a couple I've got like in the works
For the NES.
Yeah, for the NES. One of them's I'm partnering with my homie Aaron Jaws Hamoke. So that one's gonna be radical for sure.
Skateboarding game.
I can't say.
Not at liberty to say.
It's gonna be good though.
Too bad. Too bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm all about just keeping it fresh and keeping it fun.
How hard was it to try to sell the Goofyfoot controllers to the audience?
Well, so I did a Kickstarter originally to get the whole controller like fabricated and everything with the plastic shells, and I raised like $6,000, but it was gonna be like $15,000 to even get like the plastic molding and stuff all done. So that kind of failed. But then I came up with the idea of doing like the mod kit, modding it yourself, and then ran a second Kickstarter. And during that time, like I got picked up on Gizmodo and a couple other online articles about this dude that's trying to change up the NES and stuff. So I kind of got some funny hype out there. But at the beginning, everybody hated it. They were just like, some people would touch it and then like throw it, like it was like, I can't touch this.
It was kryptonite.
Yeah, they're like, why would you try it? And it's not broken, man. And I'm just like, well, you don't get it. Like, it's not for you then. And like slowly, like Barrett, picked up on it, and he came from the emulation world, so he saw keyboard in it. If you put it down on
Yeah.
the table, it was like he was playing on a keyboard. And then Friday Witch was all about it. So like those two like gave me some encouragement. And then my buddy Christian Dietering, who runs the Let's Play Gaming Expo, he was like all about it, and like he was like, "Let me get 10 of them. I want to do a tournament," and like really got me like hyped to get it going. And so that's kind of why I got locked into the the Southern qualifier, because he held
Yeah.
it. And so I was going that the second year I went there, I was like, well, let me help your Tetris tournament, and I'll do a Goofyfoot thing at the same time. It'll be cool. But it was just like the encouragement from like a couple people to kind of like see through like the negative comments, which there was a lot
Yeah.
of, and a lot of like people wanting me to explain it, like why. And I'm like, I don't really care to explain.
Yeah, it's just a controller.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like make something different. And if somebody, I wasn't even like planning on making any. I just wanted to like,
you were like breaking controllers. You're just changing it.
yeah, and I just wanted to like make it for myself to be like the best Tetris player in the world, which obviously didn't happen. But then like the encouragement from the dudes here, and from like a stupid YouTube video I put out, which nobody really even watched, but like enough people sent like positive vibes where I was like, let me try this, and through the year, I mean, this was like 2016 when I started my my first Kickstarter. So like every year at CTWC, it got a little better and a little better. Like 18, I did like a little tournament. Vince let me hold like a little tournament, and like the finals was Green Tea versus SQR, and SQR won out, and like it was just fun to like see them like this is something, let's just mess with our brains enough and try this, and just to see like the excitement level, it just kept me encouraged, and slowly people started picking it up,
But
and
now everybody uses this thing.
yeah, and then it just kind of became like Game Scout, did a video about Cheese, and and Cheese playing, Cheese has really kicked the excitement up, but he's such a funny, rad dude. He's just like I tried to get him like a Walter Day trading card, and he was just like, no, it's not for me. And I'm just like, dude, if I was a kid, I'd be like, yes, I want my own trading card. But he's just like, I'm not even gonna put like a picture of me or nothing. He doesn't even like, like he
sounds like a young kid.
He doesn't boast too much. He doesn't boast that it's Goofyfoot controller. He's just like, yeah, it is cool, whatever, so like even just that little bit of like noise is really like
it's expanding.
amped up, people coming to my website and checking me out.
How did you find out that Cheese was breaking records using the new rolling technique while on your controller?
Well, Barrett is totally been like, he's like Goof Troop #1, and he really, he sends me a lot of updates. Ian, is always crushing it. Noel, he was a big player, that came into the scene, like got me really hyped. So and it's always been like Barrett kind of like waving the flag, and I'm not. I wish I lurked a lot more than I did on Twitch, but Barrett will send me videos and be like, dude, check this out. Like, or you need to update your website, like new world record, dude. Jeez.
I need to get on the website.
So, I do too.
Still waiting for my PDP page.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's get it.
Did you saw that sales were going up after Scout posted a video of that Cheese was using the Goofyfoot controller, and people wanted to find out?
I mean, yeah, I was getting, so I would say maybe like 1 or 2 controllers every month, so it was like enough where I could be slacking and like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, like 5 orders in one day, and I was like, what's going on? Like something broke. Like maybe I did the price wrong, and like everyone discovered it was like $5. And, oh shoot. And I suck about like keeping up on my shipping charge. So like I'll like go to ship stuff and be like, dang, I'm paying like $5 extra on shipping to like wherever, like Japan or whatever. But anyways, like yeah, it's definitely turned it up where I got to start making them once a week now.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's a cool community to see grow, on its own and without really me, being all up in everyone's face about it. Honestly, I'll be in chat and people don't realize I'm the dude that made the Goofyfoot. And somebody will say like, "Oh, that's Steve. He's the one that did the Goofyfoot." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
TotalRadNES."
Is that what you want? That people don't know that you made it?
Yeah, I you
don't need the title and the fame. Fame.
I like
credits.
being I like
Yeah, you don't
being
need that.
yeah, I like being me, and I know I'm like the kind of like crazy thinker of this whole crew, and that's just part of it. The Goofyfoot's a weird thing, and yeah, I'm just that weird guy.
Yeah, if you wanted the credit for it, you would have named it like the DeLuca.
Yeah, exactly.
you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
Cares?
How did you
don't
come
need
up
all
with the
that.
Right.
Goofyfoot? With the Goofyfoot name?
Well, having to do with skateboarding and surfing. We grew up in Southern California and live in Long Beach, and yeah, I used to skate with his brother, and I think your brother skates Goofyfoot. I could be totally wrong, but it's just always kind of been known that like Goofyfoot is the way. You control the board, the direction of the board, whether it's your surfboard or your skateboard, with your right foot.
Yeah.
It's your leading foot. And so it just fell. I didn't like people calling it like a left-handed controller, in which I called it the lefty when I first made it,
Yeah.
and then I was like, it's not left-handed because it's the right hand.
Yeah.
That's my whole focus, was to get the D-pad on the right hand. So I was just like, Goofyfoot makes so much more sense because a left-handed player, like, Tony Hawk, I happened to meet Tony Hawk through, through Tetris and Vince, and I asked him, I was like, "You're right-handed, right?" Because he's a Goofyfoot skater, and yeah, he's a right-handed dude, but skates Goofyfoot. So I always kind of like, it's not whether you're right-handed or left-handed, it's just whether you're Goofyfoot or not Goofyfoot.
Yeah, whatever your dominant hand is.
Right. And like I could have called it like Goofy Thumb or something, but I was just like, I'm just gonna go with it, Goofyfoot. And also because in Skate or Die, there's a Goofyfoot setting you can choose on a couple of the downhill races.
Oh.
In which flips your D-pad.
Oh,
it
that's
flips
cool.
the left and the right.
Oh, that's
right.
Cool.
So that being another major reason why I called it that too.
I always thought that it really was a controller that you needed to press with your feet instead of.
Oh yeah.
There's your next invention.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there, yeah.
I'm working out doing like a MIDI foot controller for the stream, so I can change like camera views and stuff with like a foot, like while I'm playing the shredder. I can have like a foot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a stream deck, but then on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, big buttons. I don't have to like get my toe and try to like touch a button.
What do you think of the scene right now, that it's mostly dominated by teenagers, and that the older man like us, I'm sorry, really can't keep up the play? Is it something that bothers you? Is it something that takes the fun out of it?
It doesn't bother me at all. Nothing in this community bothers me.
It's all beautiful, man.
Yeah, hey, it's beautiful. But No, it doesn't bother me. You know, what happened in Tetris whenever Joseph came in, that happens in every athletic, venue. It
Right.
happens in basketball, whatever. It's you have a set number of years, and then the younger generation's going to come, and you're going to die. Basketball players, they have like a 15-year career.
Right.
They're not the best player for 15 years. It's like you get to a certain point, and then young people come in, and then you whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You're filtered out. So it's not disheartening in any way. It's just we had probably a good. I'm saying we as one of the older players, we had a good 8 years
Yeah.
that we had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jonas kicked the living crap out of us for 8 years, but it was like, okay, this is it.
Right.
Once Joseph showed up, we all looked at each other, like me, Jonas, Buuuucoooo, everybody, and we were like, this is about to change. Like immediately. We're like, when he won, we're like, we're gonna be obsolete in a
Right.
couple years. And it came a lot quicker than a couple years. But
Well, and I always like Jonas always kind of gave the vibe out where he like felt obligated to change the script. I feel like he was just such a dominant player. At some point, he would just have to retire.
yeah.
And like let somebody else take it for
Yeah.
once.
He always just wanted to be the announcer.
Right.
He
Yeah.
wanted to be
'cause-
like, oh, I'll go behind the booth. You guys can
right.
play.
When I did my SoCal qualifier or whatever it was called, he was just like, I don't want to play. Let me commentate. I'm
Yeah.
like, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it with Heather, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like he definitely it was definitely on that track where it was like, okay, like the goat's the goat, and he's really has like the hand in the way this is could go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And he doesn't need to be playing.
right,
Yeah.
right. But then like all of a sudden Joseph showed up, and he didn't have his hand on the way it was happening anymore.
Yeah. It was taken from him.
Right, it was
Yeah.
taken. And not so much Joseph took it from him, like the community took it from him.
Yeah.
And now the community is just like, we love this enough, and we see so many ways to make this better.
Yeah.
And in so many ways, they've amplified the classic Tetris everything 1,000 times fold.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably the biggest positive to all the young people being the best players is that they can take it in directions that us old people would never have thought to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so before Joseph came into the scene, it was basically the same, I don't know, 50 or 60 people competing in this thing every year. And it was really small, and nobody had the thought of, we should like advertise this somewhere else, or we should have a different we should have another tournament throughout the year. That was never a thing. It was basically the same 50 guys got into one room and hung out, and then that for a weekend, and that was it.
Once a year.
None of us had
Yeah.
Yeah, none of us had thoughts of, this could be kind of big. Oh, or we could do this. So having the kids be good and take over, it's great. Because like Steve said, it's expanding. There's way more qualifying tournaments. There's way more hype to stuff. There's all these leagues you guys were talking about on Twitch now. I mean, like, would you imagine if like me and Terry Purcell and Chris Brady were like, hey, we should make this kind of big. Like, not one time would any of us from back then being like, hey, yeah, we should like, kind of like do it outside of Portland.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, it took a bonehead like me that didn't even know how, like, it was still terrible to be like, hey, Jonas, can we show up at your bar? You have all these picnic tables. Can I just bring some TVs and Nintendos and we have a party?
Yeah.
Like,
that never happened.
No,
Yeah,
that never
happened.
You guys were always talking about going to his
I've been to his bar a few times, but yeah, an actual.
I went there once
event.
and it was just like, we need a party.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, that's a very long-winded answer to. I genuinely enjoy where the scene is going, and I like that a bunch of teenagers, for whatever reason, are playing a game that's 30 years old. I think that's kind of weird. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
it speaks for the longevity of the whole thing.
Or how perfect a game Tetris is.
Right.
That it's just a 6-year-old can play it and a 60-year-old can play it.
I mean, it kind of brings it all back to people have always said that like soon as like Hyper Tapper showed up, everybody was saying like it was just dead. The Tetris was dead.
Yeah.
They've like reached the limit. And like for the last like 3 years, like it's always been like it's dead, but like in some other like sense, like it's hit its peak.
Yeah.
It
can't
sucks
get
now.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just dudes keep showing up and going like
Yeah.
yeah. And it's just like you're ruining it by like saying it's exhausted. Like just enjoy it, man. Like because I still don't think it's done. I still think people out there will show up and blow our minds and like who would have thought of rolling, you know? What if there's something else next we don't even know? Like
there's going to be.
People could be swinging their controllers around, be like, dang, have you seen the lasso now? It's blowing my mind. They do the lasso and it's like
I always wanted to do it on the power pad.
Oh, power pad.
Like on my feet, like that, and see if it works.
Arcade style.
But yeah, I wanted to look like Dance Dance Revolution.
Some people are saying now that with rolling and getting those high scores and obliterating a kill screen and all that Tetris is once again a dead game.
I love those guys. I want to personally hang out with those people.
Yeah.
And just be like, man, it's like when their favorite TV show ends, like they're contemplating suicide. Like, dang, life is over.
Yeah.
Friends is done.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, just
there's something else.
Yeah, it's something else, man. You don't have to like identify anything here.
I will say this, because I have said in the past when these kids came in and were just crushing, like every game they were crushing. I said, it's boring. That was the word that I always used, was it's boring to see the same strategy every single time from every single player. That's what I have a problem with, is everyone has taken the game of Tetris, which is the most individualistic game. It's you play it however you want to play it.
Exactly.
And they've taken it and made it very cookie cutter and very, this is the way.
Right.
Because we're trying to get the highest possible score every single game, and this is the most effective way to do it. And I think that takes a lot of the fun out of me watching these people play. I like that they're able to score like 1.2 million or whatever, you know? But to me, I wouldn't sit there and watch these guys. Having two of those people play against each other, I go, whoa, those pieces are moving really fast. Okay, what's on next?
You're right. But
because
in the same vein what you're saying, I feel like that's kind of how it's been rolling. Like people have been playing really safe and getting these awesome scores, and then all of a sudden Cheese shows up and he kind of throws a little punk rock attitude out to it, and he kind of plays not like so safe all the time.
Yeah. Well,
that's what's given him this edge of these insane scores.
I can play 3 chords, so I can be a band.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly.
So did you know that I could play 3 chords, Frank? I'm trying to make a band, and
But there are bands that like these 3 chords cut through, and all of a sudden,
hey, suddenly YouTube is the hugest band of all time.
But I feel like if somebody could take your playing strategy on like with their insane skill level, you know, and be able to do it consistently, like that's gonna be the best player. Somebody that can do that chaotic well, where just wherever it goes.
Yeah, and that was always my issue with, I guess since day one of this thing, when people would ask me, "Why do you play like that? Why do you just put the well anywhere? Like, why do you do that?" And I was like, "Well, that's just that's how I think. That's how I play, you know." And even back, you know, in the first couple of years of this thing, everyone was like, "Oh, well, stack it and go to the right. Like that's always been how people have perceived that's the best way to play.
Mm-hmm.
Where I've never thought that. I've just put it wherever. Who cares? But yeah, if there was a guy that could put it anywhere,
Or a lady,
yeah. I mean, I'm from California.
or
so guy means anything,
or any kind of person.
Yeah. Well, some sort of anamorph hybrid. I don't know.
Whatever it takes.
Be the best. But yeah, that's so. Yeah, to answer your question,
Just throw you off.
yeah.
Any person.
I'm just now thinking of a half walrus, half man playing Tetris and just crushing people, playing with his tusk.
But yeah, I feel like the most punk rock, like there's gonna be like if you look at like movies and like the way there's always like that wow thing like shows up, they're crazy, but they're like able to throw like 110-mile-an-hour pitch.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, who is this person?
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're doing it all wrong, but it's working so right.
Yeah.
I mean, look at and speaking of ways of like musicians, like Keith Moon from The Who is like one of the greatest drummers of all time, and every drummer will say he did everything so wrong.
Yeah.
But he did it like his own way, and it was like
it worked.
Yeah, and it's mind-blowing stuff,
Yeah.
But yes, so I'm all for the kids taking over because as long as they have the tournament in Portland, as long as that's a thing, I will continue to play in it. And I realize now that I'm gonna probably not qualify. Like it just the way the trend is going with how good these people are getting. I probably have about 3 or 4 years before I don't even make the top 64, and then that's when I'll hang it up. So I'm really like cherishing these years because I'm like, it's not gonna last that much longer. There's gonna be a year where me, Buuuucoooo, Harry, Ben Mullen, the OGs, none of us are gonna make it.
Right.
And that's when
Ben didn't make it last year.
The silver bracket will really be the color of all your hairs.
Basically, it'll be the senior tour.
Yeah, totally.
That's what
Be a
they
bunch of old
say,
guys
yeah.
complaining.
See, the silver bracket last year was basically a death festival and a festival full of veteran players.
It was fun too.
I loved the tournament.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I was in the gold bracket, whatever, no big deal, Not a lot of brag, but I was in the actual tournament,
What do you think what CTWC 2021 will bring? As in, what will the cutoff score be?
Do you know what the cutoff score was last
919
tournament? 919?
Yeah, 919.
Oh, shit, I might be out of this tournament next year.
It's gonna be max out, I'm sure.
You think this year? I would say not this upcoming tournament, but 2022. I think that'll be where you have to max to get in. I think eventually they're going to make that a rule. They're going to make you have to max in order to make the bracket.
Right.
They just won't take anybody less.
With the South Carolina
so
qualifier, if they now went for top 12, but if they took the top 8, 970 was the cutoff score for the top 8.
Really?
Yeah, just for the top.
In South Carolina. Jeez.
Wow.
So yeah,
There you
they
go,
say
dude.
So I got to start playing again.
I play matches and all that.
Yeah, I gotta get more competitive.
But do you think you can just by practicing go into CTWC mode, or do you need competition to get in that mode?
No, I've every year that I've quote unquote prepared for these tournaments, it's just me sitting in a room by myself. I don't need I don't need to play somebody in order to get in that mindset. The mindset that I put myself in is sit down. There's 2 weeks before Portland. Just sit there and play and don't do anything else. I don't need another person there. I just need to get the rhythm down. And
2015, you didn't play for a long time.
I didn't. I took months off.
Jonas played a month before every World Championship in the early days.
Yeah,
that's what he would say, but I could pretty much guarantee you that's not true. I mean, I knew Joe. We lived 15 minutes away from each other. I can dispel that myth pretty easily. He was playing a lot more than he wanted people to know. Jonas was the first guy that when I was causing a ruckus by not videotaping my games, he was the first guy that came up to me and was like good, like don't do it.
Right.
He got it. He understood, like, Jonas never posted anything
Right.
because he never wanted people to see him play. He wanted to just show up to the tournament and be like, you have no idea what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what, and so he understood, like, I get it. You want to show up as a name, but not as like a player.
Well, yeah, and that's what made it so exciting too, because what he'd do like those long bar spins,
Yeah.
and everybody would just be like, "Whoa, what?
Yeah.
I can't rewind it. I gotta like."
Yeah.
Then you try to remember, like, okay, I gotta remember, like, it was game 2 when he played this person. I gotta remember to watch back for this crazy move,
Yeah.
you know, like, and you'd have to wait months before they posted the video up to like go back and like try to find that move that he did that. You know, they were just like, what was that?
Yeah.
It was cool. But then, like, on the same sense, like, Twitch really brought, like, the level of encouragement to everybody, and everybody's, like, a million times better.
Yeah.
Just for giving them an excuse to play.
And I think the pandemic helped.
For sure, but even before that, like, 2019 was, like, the first year where people had, like, Twitch followers showing up to the tournament.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't think we weren't, that's when we got the microphone, was in 2019.
Yeah.
So we streamed like right after that in real life tournament.
Yeah.
But Jonas was already streaming, and he had like his crew, and there was a couple other people that, like, I think Sharky was streaming, you know, so it was already like in effect during 2019, and you could already
on a small scale, but it was there.
But you could feel like it brought heat already.
Yeah.
And then that's why I think 2022 in real life, nobody even knows what's going to happen, because Twitch hasn't been like 100% of everybody's playing field, you know, since the last in real life.
Yeah, 19. Yeah, since
And
19.
it's different playing in front of an audience than playing on the couch.
Yeah.
Right, but people are bringing a skill that's never been to Portland
True.
before. Like, the players that are coming are going to be so insane, and then you're adding that in real life. So it'll be some good cracks. Like, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get wild.
Portland better make CTWC the main attraction for the Retro Gaming Expo. Like main attraction.
That would be pretty sick. Usually they just stuff us in a corner or a room.
You know, I don't even know if I'm at liberty to say anything, but when we were helping pack everything up, you know, Vince and I were talking with the organizers, and they definitely were like, you know, we see a problem. Your qualifying line, like, took it basically made a line in front of their entrance. Like, people couldn't even get into the convention because they had to, like, excuse me, you know, like, it was like a fire hazard. So they were like, okay, we know it's got to go different. And the convention center has like this huge ballroom upstairs from where they have the expo, and like that's where I see it needing to be, as in this ballroom, because it has like a little stage already set up, and it's set up in kind of like a, you know, like really good for an audience setup too, where it's like fanned out. You're not just in this narrow hallway where it's only like 10 people wide. Like, you could really fan it out, and it would give people the room to have like tables set up. So if like Sharky wanted to have his own little table, you know, selling some Sharky t-shirts or something, like, they would have room to like have like an autograph table and things inside of the
like
room.
A full
It's
floor
that
full
big.
of NES Tetris stuff.
Exactly. And like that, I mean, that's where it needs to be, I feel, minimum at this point.
Is there ever a chance you think that the CTWC will leave the Portland Retro Gaming Expo and go what you see with the major AAA games and sell out a small arena anywhere, and it'll have like 5,000 fans watching Tetris? and that's be the world championship.
I mean, I know the relate. You know, this is me just speaking for Vince and Adam and all of them, or maybe me speaking as an observer. But I know Portland's always been really good to them, and you know they store all the TVs for them, and you know they're just good people. So I definitely don't ever see, like, unless Portland just stops happening altogether. I don't see them ever, like, you know, severing their ties with Portland. But in the same sense, like, if there was like a tournament style where we said it became, you know, this huge event, you know, it could outgrow that situation, and maybe you know, convention centers are funny where, you know, there are a bunch of halls and you have to rent them
Yeah.
out, and sometimes, like last year where it was earlier, or it was going to be earlier and they didn't even have it, right?
Yeah.
um they accidentally overbooked it, and Portland was going to have to move like 2 months earlier in the summertime.
Yeah.
So like scheduling just happens, and you know, I definitely could see maybe one year we're like, oh, we didn't get the space for you guys, I don't know, and Vince would have to, you know, like,
I would say in 5 years' time, I could see this thing. If you put it, and I'm not saying Portland is not a destination
Right.
for people.
there would definitely be
It
some.
should be, because Portland's a great city. But if you were to put this tournament in 5 years, let's say the people playing and the fans, it just keeps expanding. If you put this thing in Las Vegas,
I was gonna say that's my
Yeah.
spot.
if
took
you
my-
put the World Championship in Las Vegas, you could sell out
T-Mobile
a
Arena.
small
Let's go.
arena. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Or like that's huge.
Yeah.
But like if you were to put it in the UNLV auditorium,
Or any
Right.
theater in
that's
in the casinos or something like that.
yeah, they have
Anything.
they have huge ballrooms too.
Yeah.
But you could have a spot where 5,000 people could fit. I think Vegas would be. I don't think one person would complain
It
Right.
would
if you were like,
fit-
"Hey, we're moving
would
it from
fit the
Portland to
game.
Vegas."
Right.
It would fit the game.
Right.
Yeah. Then you can start gambling on it.
Woo!
Imagine going to the sports book and you're like, I got Jonas by 6.5 lines. I'll take the over. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, they do like polls and stuff now, like through Twitch, on who's gonna win. But I've always been said, like, that's when Tetris is gonna take off, is when people can start making bets on it.
Yeah.
And that's when the whole world will notice, not just our crew, and you know, and who we're bleeding into. It'll be like a full blown. The world is now noticing.
Once you
classic
can make
Tetris.
money off something, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah. And it's perfectly set up for betting.
Yeah.
It's just somebody needs to set up a way to do it and a way to
Come to me, baby. I'll be the Tetris bookie. I'll stop playing. I'll start taking money.
go for. I'm sure there's like websites you could set
Or
up.
Unibet or something like that.
Yeah, or yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even know. See, I'm not in the sports world, and like I'm allergic to betting. It like hurts my soul.
Yeah.
Like every nickel I put in is like, that was a candy bar, or, you know, like I'm just
Candy bar 50 years ago.
yeah. Well,
that could have been a moon pie.
I was born in 1980.
Yeah,
I was almost in the 70s, bro.
almost.
But anyways, yeah, like I don't know how the gambling thing works. I just know that's when Classic Tetris will go global.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can bet on a sport where the majority is underage.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
I don't know how it works
I
either.
have Vince on the next show, so I can ask him. Maybe he knows what the
Please.
regulations are for betting on it.
Yeah. Oh, Vince is gonna be on your next
Yes.
show? Yes.
I'm gonna have to call in.
I'm ready for some classic bumps.
Yeah.
And then Svavar on in September.
Yes. He's awesome. Svavar's
Svavar,
he's the best time. He's such a good time in Portland.
quick Svavar story. He had not shown up to any of these tournaments, but he was playing like online and people knew who he was. Oh, this guy's pretty good. And then he showed up to Portland and I hadn't met him. And I think it was Vince or Ben or somebody came up to me and was like, that Svavar guy, he's straight up European you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And they go, just go talk to him. He's European you. And I go, all right, whatever. So I go and talk to him, and within 30 seconds in my head, I go, oh my God, that's my twin.
He's so funny.
This dude is me. He just like is like super goofy and weird and like
He's great.
But then he has the best death stare when he's playing.
Totally.
Straight up, I need to feel his pulse when he's playing because it is like someone just took a pic. It's not even video. It's just a picture of a serial killer mugshot every time he plays. But
Next time he needs to play with a heart rate or something like that. Let's see if the heartbeat goes up and down.
I've never seen the man breathe. I'm just putting that out there.
Woo!
I think he might be a replicant.
I'll find out in a month or two, in a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, report back to
I
me.
will.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, my final question for you two will be what do you think you will do in the future? Like you said, you think you have 2-3 years that you can qualify for the main bracket, the CTWC, and then you're hanging up the controller, or are you going to keep playing, or what are you want to do? Do you want to do more both behind the scene and help the scene grow?
I don't envision a time where I ever stop playing. I might stop playing competitively, but yeah, like I'll always be playing some version of Tetris. But yeah, like I said, I think my time is up almost in not qualifying for the tournament. So whenever that day comes, I will figure out my next step. I don't know what it is, but I know I'll say this right now. You will never catch me playing in that silver tournament. Ever.
What?
I don't play that JV stuff, dude. You either play for the gold and you go for the crown. I'm not playing. It's like college basketball. You got the NCAA tournament. That's the big one. Everyone watches. Oh, hey, yeah, we got the NIT tournament at the same. Who cares? Yeah, junior college swimming. No, I'm not watching that. I'm going for the gold, bro. I'm going for the. So yeah, you'll never. The day that I don't make the actual tournament.
So you're not fizzing out. You're just gonna turn off.
It's gonna be done. And you know what's gonna be great is the time that I don't make the tournament will be in person. It'll literally be like you're gonna see it live, being like, "I'm all right."
Then you'll have a whole day
just
to
vibe.
rage.
Yeah, just vibe, dude. But yeah, I mean, I would like to commentate. I think everyone's afraid of me behind a microphone, and that's why it hasn't really happened.
I got to 2.5 hours with you, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You are the perfect judge. Inform the scene that I could actually speak without talking about, disgusting things and
Like I said,
bad words. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm the one that dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah, you're over here. Like it's
Steve is the bad guy here.
Routine. Yeah, I'm a
for
good,
once.
nice
For
boy.
once, Sean is the good guy.
I yes, yeah. See, Sean is a nice person. Quaid's a
Quaid
dick.
is an a-hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to. I'd like to call more matches. I think I'd like to. Like I said, I always envisioned this thing being like professional wrestling, and I think the day that I'm not able to qualify is the day I go to Vince and be like, I can help you. Like I've never done behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, I could be like, I can help you do this. I can set up stuff if they are willing to want my help. But yeah, and that's, and then I would like to instead of a trophy, this is my suggestion. Instead of a trophy for the winner, I want a championship belt.
Yeah, that would be sick.
And they need to show it on every qualifying tournament they are, and just walking around.
Yeah, like hold the belt up. Yeah.
You know what? Why can't there be a trophy and a belt?
Sure. Do both.
Because you get to keep the trophy, but you got to pass the belt.
Yeah, it's like the Stanley Cup, like the Stanley Cup, you pass it to whoever wins the next year. It's the same trophy. The team gets it for a year. I think there should be a legit Tetris championship belt.
And I want formal introductions on the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm about it.
But where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh man, I mean, I have so many ideas. I just don't have enough time to do anything, unfortunately. I mean, not anything, but I want to be on 100 because I have like so many rad ideas. First of all, I'm working. I have it all like the circuit all lined up, but I'm working on a new controller named after Jonas. It's called the Goat, and basically the Goofyfoot controller, the A and B button. There's a switch where you can flip them depending on like how you want it to be A, B, or
Yeah.
BA. So the goat, I want to do a D-pad that you can switch any way you want. So for like the
Yeah.
dudes that hold their controllers like vertical, like they'll have the option of like turning the D-pad like one notch clockwise,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like 2 notches clockwise would be just a goofy foot. But I also like playing the shredder. I'm playing Goofyfoot inverted, so my up is actually down. So I would like to be able to switch that independently also. So not only like rotating the D-pad clockwise or counterclockwise, you can also like invert the buttons as well. Like so that's my idea, like my crazy idea I'm working on. And then like I said, like me and Vince and Aaron and Quaid here, and we all are brainstorming on the TWO and how we can really make that global. And Vince works really hard on getting a lot of the stuff all over the world. I want to be I want to help him a lot more on getting that going, and basically working with Vince to create the TWO as basically like a support group to
Yeah.
CTWC to allow them just to focus 100% on one tournament, and then just leave it to us to really build this giant thing,
Yeah.
you know because everything's in support of you know the world championship.
the big
I
picture.
feel
It's
like, yeah,
just true.
because
Everything goes back to CTWC.
right, and Vince and Adam and Trey, they work really hard. And for Trey and Adam, they have so much technical stuff going on for that weekend. It really physically, it's not possible for them to do all these
Anything else,
qualifiers,
Yeah.
yeah.
right? And like Vince is a madman, so he's ready to take on, I'm just speaking for him, but he's ready to take on like all of these world events. And I'm willing to help out and get these things going.
County Benelux in.
Yeah, there's so many rad people out there, and I want them to experience the what we have in real life.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I have one suggestion for the entire community
Tell me,
of Tetris.
tell us.
Tell the listeners. I was gonna say viewers, but
Listeners.
thank God they're not seeing me. I didn't shower today, so I look horrible. I'm glad we're not using the footage. But my it actually isn't my idea. My friend Alex, who's a fan, he's been to Portland. He said, "Why isn't there a Tetris Hall of Fame?"
Yes.
And I was like, "Well, because that's stupid." And he goes, "No, it's not. There's a Hall of Fame for
Yeah.
everything. Why isn't there a Tetris Hall of Fame?" So my suggestion, once I would stop being a competitor, I would try to make like a Hall of Fame, not like a physical Hall of Fame, but
Right.
like we could induct people at the tournaments.
Yeah. Oh,
like
for
a
sure.
Hall of Fame.
WWE one.
Exactly.
Right.
There you go. See, same thing.
Well, like sorry, just real quick. Recently, I was talking with Walter Day, who he's like the godfather of esports, and Google him if you don't know who he is. But he, he's represented in Wreck-It Ralph and everything. But this guy, he's got this trading card thing he does, and Vince has got a couple of trading cards, and I have a couple of trading cards, and recently. Walter Day did a trading card for Quaid and for Aaron, and like Vince and I were talking, and just like it would be really cool to do like a trading. We were talking about doing like trading cards for other players for like next year and having like a set every year. How cool that would be.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So like, yeah, in that same sense, like, yeah, the community needs to put together like these Hall of Fames.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like
Just
the first
honor the
Yeah.
old, the older players.
Yeah, and you know, and like a call
And the
to
other players.
all the internet savvy, you know, dudes out there. I know you guys are awesome, and I feel like the first way to do it and the easiest way to start it, just start making Wikipedia pages for like Jonas and Joseph and like go, you know.
I'm a little ashamed you didn't say Buuuucoooo first.
Well,
so,
I mean,
but
I
we'll
thought
talk about
I
that
thought there
later.
was already a Buuuucoooo one. That's why I didn't say it.
Oh,
I was trying to go through my brain thinking you did People Champ and it was Buuuucoooo.
there you go.
But yeah, like all these characters, real people need, you know, like if you Google their name, like a Wikipedia page should
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
And then from there, like that's where things like I feel like you're just juicing the wheel, you know? Like let's start getting things documented a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Got to amp it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for our brother Jonas, like,
yeah.
I mean, that dude did some crazy stuff that, like, you know, like, we're not even gonna know all the funny stories that, you know, he, like, I know what, real quick, one time Red Bull, like, flew him out to do, like, a party and, like, sponsored, like, some Red Bull party, and he showed up, and they gave him, like, a Nintendo that was, like, hooked to, like, a regular TV, and he was like, oh, shoot, there's, like, lag, how am I gonna, like,
Yeah.
they're paying me to perform, and like he's, you know, he in the long run, I think he like, you know, practiced enough like during the time where he kind of like felt out the delay, but you know, it's just funny stuff like that where like if you know these stories where if we don't document them now, they'll be lost.
They'll be lost.
Yeah. So now that I've said that on the podcast, go to Wikipedia, you reference the PDP podcast season 1
Season
or
2, episode
season 2 episode 1. Yeah, Joseph played
episode 14
Jonas played
overall.
in a Red Bull.
We're the 40th episode?
14.
Yeah,
14th. Oh, okay.
we'll be the 40th again.
Yeah,
We'll be back for 40th.
Sure,
Yeah.
let's say it.
He's like, they've talked way too much.
He's like, I might cut this one into 40 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it will be just one. No. Hey, Sean and Steve Quaid and Steve, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a true pleasure to have you on.
Oh, I mean,
Thanks, man.
we talk so much because we love it. We love you so much, and
Yeah.
that's, you know,
We like
many rad peoples out there.
Yeah. So thank you for having us. It was fun.
And with that all being said, this will be the end of the Peace Dependency podcast. Thank you all for listening, and make sure you follow the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget to join the Tetris Friendlies Discord server and follow me on the socials at Sir Mason. For now, have a great Tetris month, or what's left of it, and I will see you all in August. Bye-bye. The Peace Dependency podcast was brought to you by TotalRadNES. Shop your Goofyfoot controller, TWO merch, and CTWC approved hardware on TotalRadNES.com.